Hello, guys. Welcome to another insomnia episode of The Mars King, where it is currently. Wait, is it 5 a.m.? Well, it is currently 5 a.m. when I'm recording the intro, but I started recording the groups at 3 a.m., so I've been awake for a hot minute because my mind won't stop racing, so we're doing this reading today. We are doing a reading about your spirit guides. Who are your spirit guides and what message do they have for you? So we have three groups to select from. We got Fawn, Sun Bear, and the Gift. Fawn, Sun Bear, and the Gift. So whichever group looks like it is yours, it is probably yours. And I would do the bell, but I can't because it's like 5 a.m. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in your group. Hello, group number 1. Welcome to your reading. So, who's your spirit guide and what message do they have for you? I hope you guys don't mind, I don't know if you can hear it, but I have jazz music going on in the background because I sleep with jazz at night, and it is literally 3 a.m. when I'm recording this because I have insomnia. So hopefully you can't hear it, and if you can, well, enjoy the ambiance, you know what I mean? The Mars King bedroom ambiance. All right, so the overall energy of your spirit guide is the Fawn card. Okay, so this is someone who is really good with money, someone who, okay, I'm not trying to be funny, but I feel like this spirit guide requires more offerings to be able to do certain tasks, you know what I mean? So there's someone who requires more attention and I guess more gifts. And in return, I feel like they do give back pretty heavily. You know what I mean? Like they do give back very strongly. So it's not like it's for no reason. I feel like this spirit guide though is very business oriented. And this is just something that this is something that their energy what am I trying to say? Business is just their forte, is what I'm trying to say. This is their forte. Also, maybe it's just they're strategic. So kind of I'm getting war general vibes. They like to sandbox the scenarios and possibilities of your situation before it happens. So this is someone that you can go to for advice on what to do. I feel like this spirit guide has helped you navigate tricky situations. Okay, I thought about getting out of a situation that you accidentally stepped into, or maybe a situation that just you completely didn't want any part of it. I feel like the spirit guide has helped with that in some way. And yeah, I'm just really getting a strategy vibe. Okay, it kind of reminded me of chess. So this spirit guide is very logical. I don't think of them to be an artistic spirit. I feel like they're very straightforward. But it's interesting because the cards I felt called to pull for this spirit and for your group was very colorful. So maybe you guys contrast them in some way, shape, or form. It's you guys both have contrasting energies, and that's what makes you guys work well together. You're very artistic, you're very colorful, and you're very dreamy about your approach. But for them, they're very logical, straightforward, and they like to go over the scenarios and the possibilities and outcomes of every situation that comes you guys' way. So I feel like this spirit guide is an anchor to you. They help you anchor your thoughts, and when they help you anchor these thoughts, they manifest. They help ground you in some way, shape, or form. So that's what I'm kind of getting from this spirit guide. And I also feel like this spirit guide can be represented through perhaps a child. I also thought about the maiden, the mother, the crone. So the spirit guide can be represented as any age, you know what I mean? They're not just one age. that's for some, especially kind of with this like fawn symbolism. I just feel like they can be represented at any age, or they can just like transform. Like they're not represented by just one thing. There's like several different things that represent this spirit guide. So that's what I'm getting from that. And perhaps they also visit you in dreams, because like looking at the night sky in the back, I kind of thought about that. They visit you in dreams, or just visit you at night and give good insight when it is night, because that's just their hour for them to visit. And perhaps that's just like the hour in which, like, you know, your intuition is the strongest. It's just you're a child of the night, you're a child of the moon. So that's kind of what I'm getting. I also just, there also might be some feminine vibes that are also peeking through, like a mother of some sort, someone that there's a lot of authority, right? So I feel like that is the vibe of your spirit guide, all right? So let's hop into like the description cards. I feel like there's like spit in my mouth. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right, so yes, they're authoritarian, but they're sociable. They like to talk a lot and give a lot of signs. They were never human. And they're a well-known deity or spirit. Okay. If I can just, move this. All right, so yeah, this spirit guide is very authoritarian. It is not that they get power from like controlling other people. It's just that they are, I guess, very set on what it is that needs to happen. You know what I mean? Because they see things a certain way more than you do. But like I said, I feel like this authoritarian structure and you guys' relationship it's balancing. It grounds you in a way. It keeps you focused on your mission, what it is that you need to do. So, like I said, I really get this like artistic, colorful vibe from you. You're just constantly looking forward or looking to find like all these opportunities around you and all these possibilities, and you like to do a lot of things at once. I get you're really driven. Sorry, I thought about myself a little bit, but you're very driven, you're very determined to get things done, but it's just like at the same time you're like you're really dreamy. You like to fantasize a lot, and you're very artistic. So there's never like a clear path. It's just like, okay, we're gonna get this done, we're gonna get this done, we're gonna get this done, but like there's like not really any organization to it. It's just like you have a certain system in your head, but this spirit guide helps you organize it. Does that make sense? So they're authoritarian, but I don't feel like it's in a way where it's like controlling. You know what I mean? They're just trying to help you. They're trying to help you get organized. They're sociable, so they like to give a lot of messages. This is someone that probably speaks to you through angel numbers, I like to call them, because that's what people know them as, angel numbers, you know what I mean? Like 333, 323, 252. I'm just saying, like, examples. Like they might reach out to you through a number, or you guys' relationship works best when you're constantly communicating with each other and you're constantly going to them at your altar. And yeah, they're constantly giving messages. So I feel like they're usually around you a lot, and they were never human. And honestly, like I did think about like Aries and stuff like that, but I don't really know what god or spirit or deity in particular could fit this box. I thought about Bastet. I don't really know, honestly. So if it resonates, then like it's the spirit guide that you're thinking of, right? So to continue to describe them, It gives us pentagram, starseed, Tau Sethians, and Ebens, or EBE. No, I'm just like, I'm not gonna fucking spell it out. All right, so they're a protector, and perhaps there's like a god of magic. Like they're known for magic, for the craft. Okay, that kind of reminds me of Hecate. They're known for magic, for the craft, but they're also a protector. And the way that this spirit guide presents themselves is unique. Like I think they have something about their appearance that is memorable. Like for example, with, Kali, like her skin's blue, multiple arms. You know what I mean? Like there's something like that that is unique about this spirit guide, that if someone were to see them, I feel like they would be recognizable. They have something unique about their appearance that kind of belongs to them. You know what I mean? Like, for example, like I know this is a silly example, but like when you think of Ice Spice, you think about like her ginger afro. Like, something like that. Something that just stands out to them, something that describes them. There's something unique about them. Perhaps it's like you guys have had past lives together. Like there's experiences that you guys have gone through together through many different lives. So this is like a reoccurring relationship. This spirit guide is also outspoken. They're going to tell you how it is with the Tau Sethians card. I don't think they would ever... They don't sugarcoat things, and that might be upsetting sometimes, but they cannot. They cannot sugarcoat it. And I also feel like... with the Ebens card, that's what I like to call it. I also feel like with that card, maybe it's like... I thought about like hiding or like masking, which is interesting. Perhaps they like to, because like I said, they like to transform a lot. So perhaps they like to come through different things to keep some type of mysteriousness, which is interesting. Like they like to come through, I guess, like maybe animals, and it kind of reminds me of like, I was taking a walk once and I saw this bird just like fly down. I thought it was a hawk, and it was an owl. His wings really big, and it just landed on the tree and it started staring at me, and I was staring back at it, and it was just like sitting in the tree, and I was just very shocked because you don't really see owls a lot down here. I mean, it's not like they aren't a common bird, but it's just like you don't really see them like that, and they're never really near the humans, you know what I mean? So it's like, it was just very strange. And so, maybe like your spirit guide likes to disguise itself through like animals that you might see, or just like they will never come to you, I guess, fully, although they think from a straightforward way of thinking. I feel like they just like to keep some type of, I don't know how to fucking say it, so I'm not even gonna try to say it. Like I'm like, like I think they try to keep some type of like mysteriousness within the relationship. I guess that's just how they operate, which is interesting. It reminded me of like a certain like celebrity. Like I was like, that reminds me of somebody, but I don't know who it is. Like someone who is constantly doing like a disappearing act. Have you guys ever seen that video of Tyler the Creator? I don't know. I think this is a niche video, but like I think he was walking out of like a store or whatever, and he had like a Batman mask on, and a fan spotted him, And so a bus was coming and he stood behind the bus and the bus, drove away and he disappeared. Like, it's giving that, you know what I mean? It's like, I feel like this spirit guide, they like to constantly change because that is just how they operate. You know what I mean? I don't really know the full reason why they operate in this manner. That's just what feels comfortable to them. Perhaps it's protective. Maybe they just don't want to scare you. So they come through like different mediums. Or that's just, like I said, they are sociable. So maybe it's just like, I don't know, perhaps they just enjoy constantly like transforming themselves. I thought so it doesn't look obsessive. That's interesting. All right, so let's see the message that they have for you. They say the world is yours. We get nature. We get celebration. Maybe 33. Is it 33, some type of angel number between both of you guys with threes in it? And mother. Okay. Here, let me move this over so you guys can see the cards. Okay, so the spirit guide tells you, like, anything is possible. Oh my god. Anything is possible. Anything is possible, especially if you put your mind to it. You know what I mean? Like, I remember when I was watching a lot of kids TV shows as a kid. One of the biggest messages that I would see in these TV shows, like I said, was about anything being possible. It was really about being able to dream despite what others believe about your dreams. And I thought that was really special because, I don't know if kids shows are still the same, but they're not really like that. They're just loud now. Like, you know what I mean? But I just felt called to mention the children's show because maybe it's like, you as a person, you're very colorful. Maybe you're really connected to your inner child. You know what I mean? Your inner child's like a guide for you. And all the things that you were attracted to as a child really lead you through your life right now. So there's that. But I also just kind of feel like maybe there's a significance with some of the TV shows and things you were watching in your childhood. You know what I mean? They told you. They gave you positive messages that perhaps had a psychological effect on you that you weren't aware of, especially if you were constantly binging these shows. Like, I'm thinking of like Wonder Pets, that TV show in particular, but and maybe like Backyardigans. Okay, so if you're like older, I'm sorry, but like I'm just saying, like, those are the shows that I thought of. There's just like messages that encourage you to explore and grow. And those positive reinforcements have had an impact on your life. Okay, I also thought of Yo Gabba Gabba. Just calling out shows at this point. You know what I mean? Those are the three shows I thought of in particular. There's some type of impact with those shows on your life. And they have always given this message about, being confident in your abilities, being confident that you will achieve the dreams that you desire. And I'm guessing that the spirit is telling you to go back to those lessons that you learned within those shows. They're telling you to revisit those messages, those positive messages that you were given as a child. And it is not that these messages have ever expired. They have always mattered. And we lose those messages along the way. This world can be so difficult to handle and deal with. And sometimes we forget, like, the beautiful messages that were given to us as children. The hope that we had as kids, that we would achieve anything that is possible. So, like, adopt that childlike hope again and understand that your dreams are a possibility. This spirit guide tells you to get grounded in nature, to spend more time in nature. Because perhaps as a child, you spent a lot of time in nature and you're trying to really reconnect with your inner child because they are a very helpful source of inspiration for you. When you're connected with your inner child, I feel like that's when things are going right in your life. That's what I heard. So your inner child's really important to you, so it's time to connect with nature. Maybe just like bathe in the sun as well. I kind of thought about like, how like dogs and cats will just be like laying on the floor in the sun. There's that, you know what I mean? What's stopping you from doing the same thing? You know what I mean? Like connect with nature, connect with the world outside, because it's going to also help you bring about, some ideas that you haven't thought of. And with celebration, there's a lot of great things that are coming up. Like I feel like, a manifestation has been conquered. There's a lot to celebrate right now. There's also a lot to celebrate when it comes down to the position in your life right now. Like it is time to give thanks to the things that you have. And with the mother energy, there's just an emphasis on creation. Never stop creating, never stop evolving your creativity. Keep moving forward, keep finding new ways to create with the mother card. And also just understand that like the more energy that you put towards nurturing your creations, the stronger they will be. Like you're building up the spirit of the creation. And when you build up this spirit, this energy, this entity that is your creation, it's almost like it is unstoppable. So I felt called to say that. And also with the mother card, it's like spend time, nurturing yourself, taking care of yourself. This nature time is how you can take care of yourself better. It's a form of self-care. So that's the message, all right? So if you enjoy this reading, subscribe, like the video, comment down below. Feel free to donate to my throne wish list. And that's about it. Thank you guys so much. I'm very thankful for all of you guys who are subscribed to my channel. All of you guys have been supporting me and commenting and donating gifts. I love you guys so much, and I'm incredibly thankful to have all of you guys in my space. And I'll see you very soon. Take care and goodbye. Hello, group number 2. Welcome to your reading. So who is your spirit guide and what message do they have for you? So the overall energy of them is Thunbear, Sunbear. So this spirit guide is someone who's very tough. Someone who is kind of like a bear. Someone who's really resilient in the face of, challenges and adversities amongst their path. This is someone who is maybe a little bit forceful with even their approach. I guess we have like a lot of energies like that tonight, don't we? Someone who's really forceful in their approach. But also kind of like with the bear energy, I kind of think about like a mother bear. How they take care of like their cubs, and they're very protective over their cubs. So perhaps there's also that protection energy where it's like this bear is very protective over you. But this spirit guide likes to be represented in that type of light. So I also kind of like thought about masculinity, which is interesting because I just mentioned that whole entire mother bear thing. So they might be a man. When I was looking at the cards, I thought about Lucifer, but I don't really quite know because I feel like there's several different possibilities for who this spirit guide could be. But this is someone who is very, tough. Maybe they also like to move a lot. They like to move a lot. They like to explore and travel. Perhaps this is something that they encourage you to do. This is someone who doesn't like staying like stagnant. I feel like it'll drive them crazy if they're experiencing the same stuff over and over and over again. Like they really enjoy change and evolution and even innovation. So this is something that they encourage for you to change, because they just can't stand like staying put or just dealing with like the same era forever. Things got to change. Perhaps also that's also probably maybe what they need to say to you. It's like, there got to be some change in your life. but this is someone who likes to move about quite a bit. Someone who's represented by the sun, by like warmth, glowing. That's why I started thinking about masculinity, because the sun is usually representative of masculinity. So this is someone who probably has a glowing aura. Someone who glows. A sword. Perhaps they have a sword. That's like Michael. But this is someone who has like a glowing aura. And they're masculine. Perhaps with like the bear, there's also like maybe a connection to like nature and wildlife. And a love for like animals. Animales. And this is someone who isn't afraid to be seen. But I don't think you guys are ready to see the spirit guide. So that's kind of the vibes I'm getting with the Sun Bear card. This is someone who's very confident, someone who is resilient, someone who can overcome challenges, all right? So let's hop into the descriptors. We have... God, I just wish that song would get in my head. All right, we have... Okay, the cards are stuck together. If I could unstick them, then I would be able to tell you what we have, right? All right. We have confident. What I just said. Can that song please get out of my head? Oh my god, what song is it? Oh my god, it's Yummy by Justin Bieber. Like, it literally won't get out of my head. As soon as I saw the confident card, like, it just has been playing in my head. Their guardian angel. They have black hair. And you know what's like also crazy? Smooth Criminal has been stuck in my head for like 5 days at this point. I think I'm about to actually lose my mind. Like, I'm actually going to lose my mind over it. All right, spirit guide. Ooh, I just can't with this music getting stuck in my head. I just can't. I can't anymore. All right, so confident. Guardian angel. They have black hair. And they're a spirit guide. So this spirit guide is a guardian angel. So they could probably be found in the Notoria. But I don't have it nearby, so I can't pull cards. But like, I'm thinking about Archangel, or, you know, maybe like a well-known angel. That's what I thought about. But they're a guardian angel. Like I said, they're very confident about themselves. They're someone that feels as though they can achieve. Oh, I just saw 555. They're somebody who feels as though they can achieve what it is that they set their mind to. I guess their black hair is something that's significant to them, because it had to be mentioned. Maybe they have like pride in their hair. They're like, oh, it's just beautiful. I had to mention it. That's how they can be described, I guess, with black hair. Their spirit guide, which is funny. They give out the card like, by the way, I'm a spirit guide. It's like, yeah, we know. So I guess that's all they were willing to get. They're guardian angel. They're very confident in themselves, and they're someone that you can rely on. That's what I'm getting. All right. Any more descriptors? We have more. Okay, there's someone who expands the consciousness. Okay, we got life force energy. Ha, tell the truth. And Leah, stand your ground. So this is someone who also has, I guess, like, they prioritize knowledge and spiritual growth. I did mention when I was describing their energy with the Sun Bear card, there's someone that doesn't like to be stagnant or stay the same for like extended periods of time. So they're constantly looking for ways to help expand the collective's consciousness, expand their spiritual knowledge, and help grow the collective. And it could also just be like you. They're helping expand the way that you view your spirituality and your practice. Perhaps there's more possibilities that await you when it comes down to your craft. But maybe you don't really see all of it just yet. They have like a strong aura, especially with the life force energy. They have a very like strong aura, a glowing aura to them. Maybe they also prioritize like, healthy food, healthy energy. Maybe it's like you need to start eating a little bit healthier, so you're not clogging like your aura. Maybe that's also what they're saying, but like they have like a very like glowy, like just a very like colorful, like glowing aura to them. And maybe that's also like with the sun energy, you know what I mean? Like they just have like a glowing crown. Also with these like crowns I'm seeing within these cards, maybe that they wear some type of headdress, but they have like a very strong presence about them. Maybe that's also like why they will not choose to come forward necessarily or like meet you face to face, because their presence is like, it's like, like the ear ringing noise. Their presence is like blinding in a way. They also prioritize telling the truth. They will never lie to you, obviously, but it's also kind of like about being truthful to who you are. I think they do not like when you lie about who you are or mask yourself to appease other people. Perhaps that's something that you struggle with. Like you have to mask yourself so other people don't feel intimidated by you. Especially because some of you guys are very talented, you're very smart and intelligent, and you just have this demeanor about you that people get like just offended by or just jealous of, so you just constantly have to mask yourself, and they hate when you do that. So they encourage you to tell the truth about who you are and be very confident in your personality and just the way that you also choose to express yourself. Because some of you guys shy away from doing that. And for them, it's like self-expression is very important. That's something that they encourage for you, obviously, but that's also something that they encourage for themselves. They enjoy expressing themselves in unique ways, and they like standing out in their own way. Perhaps even with like their glowing aura, they just naturally stand out. So that's something that they enjoy. And so for you, it's like you might not necessarily enjoy that like they do. You don't like, glowing or standing out because of the way that people treat you when you do. And they're like, well, embrace it. Embrace people staring at you. Because it only means that you are very unique and special. And, oh my God. I don't like how the light went out while I was in the middle of my message. That was not funny. Your spirit guide was like, shut up and get on with it. I apologize. Yeah, but this spirit guide is someone who stands firm in who they are, and so therefore they think that you should. Especially with the stand your ground card. Like they encourage you to be firm in who it is that you present yourself to be. Because that is something that they enjoy doing. They enjoy glowing. They enjoy standing out. And there's so many unique, powerful things about you. You're intelligent. You're smart. You're very talented, gifted. And so they're like, why not enjoy standing out? Because those are things that you should be proud of. All right. So that's what he or she is saying. Okay. Or they. Orpheus and Eurydice. This is the message that they have for you. Orpheus and Eurydice. Gaia. Mesogoddess. Raven Goddess. And I felt called to pull one more, and I pulled Nyx. So, they say don't look back on the past. I feel you guys have maybe experienced a difficult era in your life as of recently. Or you've had to part ways with something, someone, some idea maybe. And you're just looking back. And some of you guys just want to turn back. You want to go back to the old. Like before maybe this event happened, your life was perfect, you felt. Now that it's happened, there's been so much transformation. It makes you feel like you're not living the same life anymore. And it's scary. But this angel is telling you that it is okay to move forward. To move forward despite the difficulties that you're also facing along your path. You might want to sit up here and go back to old ways and hide. Or maybe just like cope, you know? You want to find ways to like hide away from this challenge, from this struggle. Because it's just been very difficult and painful for you guys. But this angel's like, relax. You know, everything's okay. You have spiritual support and assistance. And that these challenges are needed for you to evolve and grow and transform. Everything's going to be okay. With the Gaia card, they encourage you to connect with nature, connect with the elements. Maybe also right now, the earth element is very important to you. So I thought about like earth signs, certain months with earth signs. Virgo season is coming up. That's the next earth sign. So perhaps like late August, September, there's going to be a significant change. This reading is not like defined by a time period, but I'm saying like when I'm filming this, like we're coming up on that season. So, but it really doesn't matter when you watch this. This is not like a time sensitive reading. I just felt called to say like maybe in Virgo season, you guys are going to experience something magical. You're going to experience some type of prosperity, some type of like lift. Because I feel like you guys have been feeling really down. You're going to experience like a lift in energy with the whole entire like Gaia card. But yeah, get connected with nature, and nature's just a powerful way to ground. I feel like I give this message quite frequently on my channel. So a lot of the people that are watching are really just connected with the elements. I mean, we all are. We're living on Earth. But I'm saying that you guys really thrive in the Earth energy and connecting with animals and, you know, just the world outside. And so maybe some of you guys also like work with fairies. Maybe there's that. And your fairies are trying to give you messages and they're trying to help you. Maybe if you felt called to like work with the elementals outside, then now would be a great time because they're calling to you. But overall, connect with nature because it's grounding, it's healing. And if you ever, you know, feel you're going to crash out, like, you know, walk outside. Take some time to sit in the sun. Take some time to, you know, enjoy the rain if it's raining. And with Meso Goddess, it's like you guys have ideas and plans. It's about speaking it out, making it exist first. You don't really know what to do. You're like, oh, there's just too many things. It's like, I don't know where to begin. Maybe it's a business. Maybe it's just a creative pursuit, whatever it may be, this idea, like you just don't really know where to begin. Just begin with speaking it into existence. Begin with having confidence in this idea. Begin with being your own cheerleader, okay? This angel is supporting you. So support yourself. You also have a lot of messages coming in at this current point in time that you guys need to really pay attention to. Especially with the Gaia card, I mentioned about the elementals contacting you or trying to get in contact with you and them having messages, like time to get out in nature and hear those messages. Time to meditate on those messages. Maybe you've been pulling a lot of cards and, you know, you have yet to write down the message to the readings, or maybe even this reading, you need to write it down. You need to keep track of the messages that you're being sent, because you're being sent a lot of guidance right now. And it's telling you exactly what you need to do, where you need to go, how you need to begin this idea or this business or whatever venture this might be, this meso-goddess energy. Perhaps there's also like messages coming through music. There's messages coming through the songs that you're listening to. Maybe a TV show. There's messages coming through the TV shows that have been very inspiring for some of you guys. Resonates with some. All right. And also, don't be afraid to like really like elevate your darkness by getting connected with your shadow and doing shadow work. Some of you guys need to do that. But also, like, there's a lot of messages that come at night. So some of you guys have like been lacking sleep because you need to listen to the messages that are coming in. You need to write it down. You need to listen. You need to internalize the message. And also, I know this sounds crazy, but I feel like some of you guys have a cycle coming up, like a period. I felt called to say that you feel relieved, which is an interesting message. You're not pregnant! So that's for some with this winter moon energy, but also maybe there's a significance with, you know, femininity and moon magic and charging your crystals or charging your deck with the moonlight or making moon water, using the moon as a tool in your spiritual work can really help manifest whatever this is that you were working on. It's maybe also time to get connected with your spirituality as a whole. Remember, I said that this spirit guide is all for elevating your spirituality and finding new ways to practice your craft. So perhaps there's new things that are revealing itself to you. Maybe you went through this difficult moment because there's an awakening of some sort that you're currently experiencing. And so it's time to get connected with your craft again. Because some of you guys have also like put it on the back burner because there's just a lot of stuff going on. But you need to get connected with it again, because it's going to ultimately help you with this era of your life. So I think that's it. Also, it's just like spirit guides. There's a lot of spiritual support that you're just not fully seeing. So don't feel like you're alone, okay? Especially with the Raven Goddess. I feel like maybe your spirit guide can be represented through a bird of some sort, because they're constantly liking, you know, to explore and fly, which is interesting. Because like your overall energy is the sun bear, but there's someone who just likes to explore and fly and just move about. So I feel like that's the message overall. I apologize that the light went out. That used to happen all the time in like my older readings, because I used to rely on this stupid light. It's like I probably should just keep it charged when I'm doing it, but like I don't feel like whipping out the charger. So I'm sorry that it went out in the middle of the reading. That was cringe. So anyways, that's it. If this resonated, subscribe, like the video, comment down below. Oh my gosh, Mars King, it resonated. And feel free to donate to my throne wish list. I love having new decks on my channel. I'm thankful for everyone who has donated. I love you so much. And I'm coming in your room to kiss you. And no, I'm just playing. But I love you guys so very, very much. And that's it. Take care and goodbye. Hello, group number 3. Welcome to your reading. So, who is your spirit guide and what message do they have for you? Hopefully the light doesn't go out during this reading, because it's done that even though it's plugged in. So hopefully it doesn't do that. Okay, so their overall energy is the gift. So I feel like the spirit guide, they have gone through a lot of stuff within their physical life that they lived on Earth, or maybe the physical lives that they have lived on this planet. they've experienced a lot of spiritual transformation in mastery, but obviously, you know, our society hasn't always been as progressive as it is now when it comes down to witchcraft, magic. So I feel like they've always felt ever so slightly ashamed of it. And there's been a lot of, struggle. It's 444. There's been a lot of struggle from that they've experienced through the lives that they've lived physically on this earth. And they've always tried to maybe shy away from it or run away from it, but they've never been able to fully escape it. And that's because they are a master witch, and they are gifted with their craft, with the craft. And so it's something that has always been with them. Maybe it's also because I did feel called to pull my African decks, my African Goddess Rising deck, and my Egyptian Gods Oracle. I felt called to pull both those. So perhaps it's maybe this spirit guide, because they did live on Earth, maybe this spirit guide went through a lot of oppression when it came down to their magic and their traditions through colonialism. Jeez. All right, they've been through a lot of struggles because of colonization. And so perhaps there's pieces of your spirituality that is currently missing right now. Pieces that need to be reclaimed and discovered. And with their time on this earth, they haven't been able to fully teach or give the knowledge that they have learned to the previous, or not the previous, but I guess the recent generations. Their offspring, they haven't been able to fully give that knowledge because they've always been having to, deal with this oppression and hiding. So all they've wanted to give is, a good, safe life for their children. And they've never been able to really give. I feel like this is an ancestor. They've never been able to give the keys to their magic. And so perhaps at this current point in time, that's what they're doing for you. They're giving you the keys to this ancestral magic that has been missing. But they've always kind of felt like this just sadness because they've never been able to fully enjoy their craft, due to this colonization, due to this, oppression, just due to this violence that has haunted them. But I feel like they live vicariously through you because they're able to freely practice alongside you. They're able to freely give their knowledge to you without having to be afraid. And so they're constantly supporting you and they're constantly rooting for you because you have opportunities that they didn't within their life. And that's what they've always wanted. I feel like this spirit guide is a family. It's very family oriented. They've always wanted their children to have, the best life possible for them. So this is something that is important to them, okay? So let's pull out the descriptors. I had to pull out more descriptors than the other piles or the other groups because I was just like, this is interesting. We have authoritarian. If I can pull the cards, okay. They had medium skin or brown skin. They are shy. Colorful. And they had a physical body. So it's interesting because we have authoritarian and shy. So I was like, I need more. I need more descriptions for this spirit guide. Okay, so I feel like the authoritarian energy comes from having to lead, having to really protect the children that they had, because I do feel like this is a family-oriented spirit guide. So they've had to protect and lead, and they've had to be authoritarian, not really by choice. I feel like for safety. But they're someone who's been pretty much shy and reserved throughout their life. They never really enjoyed, gathering in big groups of people. They're introverted. Inverter. They're an introvert. They're inverter. They were an introverted person in the life that they were living. So, but they've had to adopt that authoritarian personality to be able to keep their children safe. Obviously they've had a medium or brown skin tone, and there's something about color. Perhaps it's within the tradition and cultures that they lived in. There was a lot of color within their art and their clothes and the makeup and perhaps even hair. I thought about, there's just been a lot of color that we could see. Maybe they were an artist of some sort, or it's just their aura. There's color, so much color within the aura. And they obviously had a physical body, but color is something that's very significant to them. Perhaps it's also the depth of their personality is colorful. They haven't really been able to fully feel that until they were spirit. I feel like they do not enjoy the physical earth experience. I feel like they enjoy being without a physical body and being, just a spirit. I don't think they would ever plan to come back to this earth. And I feel like they've already been through enough trials in which it just really isn't needed for them. But this spirit guide, they're shy. Maybe they don't really they don't want to scare you, so they don't really they don't appear physically, or will choose not to appear physically out of fear that you might be scared of them. But this person is very colorful. Just the way that their culture is, the way that they have done their makeup and maybe their clothes, there's just a lot of color to this person. Okay, so continuing to describe them. We have Game, desire. Allah, grief. Queen Nandi, intuition. And Aunt Nancy, betrayal. So I feel like there's been this just desire for things to be the most ideal and perfect outcome that they could possibly be for this spirit guide when they had this physical body. And maybe now that they've passed over to the other side, they can help bring forth those desires through you. Perhaps it's you're a mirror image of this spirit guide. You guys maybe lived a life together as sisters. Or perhaps it's I'm trying to think. Perhaps it's forgot what I was going to say. I forgot what I was going to say about, oh, maybe it's no. It was something about you reflecting them in some way, shape, or form. Maybe it's you're the embodiment of the family, of the culture from which you came. The culture within your bloodline. Maybe you're the embodiment of that. You're the walking embodiment of that. You're the desire. You're the freedom, the liberation that the spirit guide desired. They see that their bloodline is free. And so you're living their truth, their their fantasy, their world that they wanted out in real time. And so that's why it's very important that you live your life exactly how it calls to, that you live your life for yourself and only yourself, and not for others and what they want you to do. With grief, there's just been a lot of pain that they've experienced throughout their life, and just tragedy. And that pain and tragedy comes from betrayal. Maybe it's like there's people that they trusted within their lives, and they've betrayed them. Maybe you've exposed their craft, and they just feel this, deep betrayal after all that time. But they are very intuitive. They've always been a psychic within the lives that they lived. And they're constantly guiding you. They're constantly helping you make decisions and also informing you. Maybe you guys have had sessions together in which you've read tarot, 1212 I saw. Perhaps they also have enjoyed divination tools. Maybe that's where you get your love for divination tools. Both of you guys like mirror each other in a way. You guys both enjoy a lot of the same things. And so that's why it feels just so relieving to them to have you physically living out the life that they desired. Okay, so let's see the message that they have for you. We have Mayat, truth and fairness. Jeb, prosperity. Kepri, change. Oops. And Mud, being ordinary. This is such a beautiful message. They're like, this spirit guide's like, you don't understand, but even your normal life is very spectacular. You are the embodiment of history that was made. You are living a beautiful life, even in its normalcy. And they're telling you to be thankful for the way that it is right now. Be thankful for the fact that you are free. Be thankful for the fact that you can practice your craft freely. And perhaps they're also like, there's just so much divinity in you just living. And you might not even understand the depth of that you just being alive is very divine in itself. And there's power in that. And so never, ever underestimate the power that's within your blood, that's within you. Maybe it's also like there is royalty. You have this royal energy about you. Especially with the scepter, there's just so much royal energy that exudes from your soul. And so always, I guess it's like, treat yourself to only luxury. Obviously, I'm not telling you to like empty your wallets. No, that's not what luxury is about. See, there's prosperity energy, but that's not what luxury is about. Luxury can be in like simple things, like taking care of yourself. You're doing your hair, doing your makeup, making yourself feel beautiful, getting more sleep, resting when you need to. There's luxury in that. There's luxury that can be found in the simple things. So they're like, there's also maybe even like signs and just messages and synchronicities that are coming in all the time. I just saw 1515. There's always these signs and messages coming in. Even when you think that they're not there, they're there. They're there. 1819, okay, there's like change, there's development happening right now. There's a lot of change that you will be experiencing very soon. There is an elevation in your life. Probably an elevation in knowledge with the scarab. That's what I was thinking of. but also even the elevation with prosperity. You're also, like I said, the embodiment of change. You represent that there's change that was made within your blood, that you are a powerful part of your bloodline's history, that you being free to be yourself is something that is elevating to the bloodline. And so this spirit guide really encourages you expressing yourself uniquely and being exactly the person that, you desire to be. Even if it makes others feel uncomfortable because, like I said, they didn't have a choice when they were alive. They had to play this authoritarian figure and protect their children and, mask themselves a lot and mask their culture because of the fear of what could happen to them if they did not. But there's so much prosperity that is surrounding you right now. There's so many opportunities. And there's so much just like awaiting you that maybe you don't even see. Like I said with the being ordinary card, there's so much that is awaiting you that you don't see. And I'm seeing just so many angel numbers while I'm reading this. So it's like you guys have so many signs and synchronicities and so much support around you, and you might not even realize it. And a lot of these signs are pointing to this just great big change that's happening right now. 555. There's a great big change that you're experiencing that's happening right now. Be open to it. Be ready for it. And with the Mayet card, live in your truth. Live in the life that calls to you. Live exactly the way that your soul wants you to live. Live in your truth. And also, like I felt called to say, do not be judgmental over other people. Some of you guys need to hear that. To not just judge harshly. Because everyone deserves to live in their truth. And you do as well. Maybe people have judged you harshly. But it does not matter. Because you're a walking miracle. And you guys might think, there's just like no importance. There's so much importance when it comes down to your physical being. Maybe some of you guys need to hear that. Okay. I think that's the message, honestly. My phone ran out of storage. But, like I was saying, live your truth. Live the life that calls to you. Because, your ancestors, they at one point did not have a choice. And you're a miracle. You're a walking miracle. So be colorful, be bright, be loud, be bold. Because, there's this honor. Have honor for the lives and souls that came before you. Have honor for the culture and incorporate it into your craft. I'm assuming if you're watching this channel, you're probably, you're a left-hand path baby gal, all right? You probably are on the left-hand path, or maybe a Satanist. You can incorporate your culture, your family traditions with the left-hand path. Perhaps you're not even aware of the magicians in your bloodline that did walk that path, right? So that's it for the message. Feel free to subscribe, hit that like button, comment down below if it resonated, donate to my throne wish list if you want to. And yeah, that's it. Take care and goodbye.